You land. The air thrums, heavy with the scent of pollen. We're balanced on what a human would call a yellow flower, but you see something else.
It is a dark, pulsating blue dye at the center, surrounded by a shimmering electric aura. Your world is stripped away, reduced to a single, urgent mission.
Then how do you find the map to your food when it's written in a color invisible to the predators you must evade?
This is the Umwelt of the honeybee.
And so we see the full spectrum from red to violet. Now, if we isolate the longer wavelengths, the balance shifts.
We are primates, tuned to a specific sliver of the electromagnetic spectrum. The bee is different.
Its compound eye, a miracle of thousands of individual lenses, or ommatidia, builds a mosaic of the world.
But its photoreceptors are shifted. Where we see red, green, and blue, the bee sees green, blue, and ultraviolet.
This UV spectrum is not an extra. It is a primary color, a data-rich signal that turns this meadow into a landscape of beacons, runways, and targets, all hidden in plain sight. We understand the biology. We've mapped the receptors. But knowing the architecture of the eye is not the same as seeing the map.
To survive, you must read the code.
Your perspective shatters. The lab dissolves into a dizzying mosaic of thousands of hexagonal images. You are airborne. The sun is not a yellow orb. It is a polarized compass.
You're a fixed navigation point in your compound vision, guiding your flight. The wind is a physical force you ride, your wings beating 800 times a second.
An ultrasonic hum that is the sound of your own life.
But life is costly. Your internal reserves are draining.
This is not thought. It is a physical imperative. Hunger. You need fuel, and you need it now. You bank hard, sweeping over the metas.
To a human, it is a sea of homogeneous yellow.
To you, it is a complex, screaming canvas of signals.
Your world is blue, green, and a color humans have no name for: ultraviolet.
It is this UV spectrum that holds the key.
Your vision scans the field. Those large, bright yellow flowers?
They are shouting in UV, reflecting it so brightly they appear as blinding, electric white flares.
They offer no reward. They are a sensory trap. You ignore them, filtering the noise. You are searching for the signal.
There, ahead, a cluster of what humans call black-eyed Susans.
To you, they are lighthouses. The outer petals are bright, a shimmering UV reflective halo. But the center is a void, a deep, absorbing ultraviolet black hole.
This is not a flower, it is a target.
You descend, your legs latching onto the petal.
The contrast is overwhelming. The dark center acts as a nectar guide.
You don't see the nectar. You see the path to the nectar.
You move toward the absolute darkness. It guides you past the false, empty pollen stems.
It pulls you toward the center, a precise map for your proboscis. You probe the base. Success. A sudden, intense rush of sucrose.
Energy floods your system. The threat of starvation recedes. The internal clock reset. You have translated the ultraviolet code into survival. But the sun is still high, and the colony is waiting.
You lift off, rising back into the mosaic, scanning the field for the next dark target.
The mosaic fades. We are back in the lab.
What we just experienced was not an accident of physics. It was a deliberate conversation.
For millions of years, flowers and bees have co-evolved,
painting signals onto the world in a spectrum we were never meant to see. What UV light reveals here is extraordinary. These hidden signals permeate everything around us. A silent, visual language that governs an entire ecosystem.
We just translated the world as a UV spectrum map.
But what about the Earth's magnetic fields that bees use for navigation?
Up next, we'll explore the science of the magnetic field and the incredible way bees communicate through the waggle dance.